Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Shri Rama Jayam. Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vighnopashantaye. Namaskar and welcome all of you to Amara Bharati Samskrita YouTube channel. We are now going to start study of the Manika Dvitiyo Bhagaha, the 10th standard Manika Sanskrit textbook. In that, the very first lesson, Prathamaha Pathaha Vaangmayam Tapah. Tapah means austerity and Vaangmayam is speech. So, Vaangmayam means something which is related to speech. So, austerity in speech. That is the meaning of this title, Vaangmayam Tapah. We now look at an English explanation of this particular lesson. Before we start the lesson, there is an important passage from the Rig Veda, a set of suktas from the Rig Veda which are told at the beginning of this lesson in your textbook, which is what we see now. Sangachadvam samvadadvam samvo manamsi janatam deva bhagam yatha purve sanjanana upasate. The meaning is, may all of you move or progress in harmony. May all of you speak in a single voice, in one voice. May all of your minds be in harmony, similar to the way the ancient gods shared their portion of a yajna. Samano mantras samitis samani, samanam manasaha chittamesham, samanam mantram abhimantrayevaha, samanena vo havishajuhomi. Means, may the purpose of all of us be the same. May all of us be of a single mind, one mind. To form such a unity, I offer a common prayer. Samani va akutihi, samana hridayani vaha, samanamastu vo mano, yatha vaha susahasati. May your intentions and aspirations be alike. May your thoughts be common, so that there is a thorough union among all of you. This is a very beautiful prayer for unity among all of us. It's a very important sukta in the Rig Veda. Towards the end of the Rig Veda is where this comes. Now, in your lesson, there's a short conversation between a teacher and his students, which we see now. Acharya, teacher says, Priya Chhatraha, dear students, Pathitaha asmabhihi Rigvedasya mantraha. By us were chanted or read the Rigveda mantras. Nyayate kim? Is it known? Rigvedastu Vishwasahitye Adimaha Alekhaha. Is it known to you that Rigveda is the foremost or the earliest literature in the whole of world literature? Vishwasahitye. Among all the literature in all the languages of the world, Rigveda is the oldest, the foremost, the earliest. Sarvakalikaha, sarvabhaumikaha chasya upadeshaha. So its upadesha, its instructions or its teachings are applicable sarvakalikaha at all times, which means past, present and future. It's applicable many thousands of years ago in the past. It is applicable yesterday, in the previous century and so on. In the present moment also, and in the future, for all times to come, it's applicable. And sarvabhaumikaha, and at all places, which means to all persons throughout the world, irrespective of country, irrespective of place they live, irrespective of language which they speak. It is applicable universally in respect of time and place, is what is meaning. Chhatraha, students say, yes. Tathaiva kathitam sangachadvam sambadadvam. That's what is said in Sangachadvam sambadadvam. Acharya, teacher says, Sadhu, good. Jananti kim bhavantaha vacha mahatvam. Do you know the mahatvam, the importance, vachaha, of speech? Do you know how much speech is important in our daily life? That's what is the meaning. Sumedha says, Aham vadani, yes, I will tell. Vadani is a word in lot lakara. You can see. Vaanyeka samalankaroti purusham ya Samskrita dharyate. Only speech which is refined, well refined, adorns, dharyate, samalankaroti, adorns a person. Um, Only speech which is well refined can adorn a person, which means not ornaments. Ornaments and all those things don't really adorn a person. The what which really adorns a person is the speech which that person utters. This is actually from the Bhartrahari Niti Shataka, and the shloka starts like this. Keyurana vibhushayanti purusham harana chandrojvalaha. And so on. It comes like this. Acharya, teacher says, Shobhanam, very good. Vidyavatam vachi Saraswati virajate. Saraswati, goddess Saraswati shines or beautifully resides, shiningly resides in the speech of a learned person. Idaneva shikshayiti ayam pathaha. This is what is taught in this particular lesson. Vaangmayam Tapah. We now look at the verses one by one. There are 8 verses, 8 shlokas in this chapter, in this lesson. First one. Sharada Sharadam Bhoja Vadana Vadanam Bhuje Sarvada Sarvada Smakam Sannidhim Kriyat. Sharada Sharadam Bhoja Vadana Vadanam Bhuje Sarvada Sarvada Smakam Sannidhim Kriyat. We now look at the Padacheda or the Pada Vibhaga, the split of words. Sharada, Sharadambhoja Vadana, Vadanambuje, Sarvada, Asmakam, Sannidhim Kriyat. Now, the Anvaya or the prose order. As you know, the order of words in a shloka, in a poem, may be different from the order of words as told in prose. The same set of words arranged in prose order is called as the Anvaya, because in the poetic order, Chandas and other such factors take precedence, so the order may be slightly interchanged here and there. So we look at the Anvaya or the prose order. Sharada Amboja Vadana, Sarvada Sharada Asmakam Vadana Ambuje, Sarvada Sat Nidhim Sannidhim Kriyat. Now we look at the Pratipadartha or the meanings of the individual words. Sharada means goddess Sharada, goddess Saraswati, goddess of learning. Sharadambhoja Vadana. Here the Sharada means Sharad Ritu, the autumn season. And Ambhoja is the lotus and Vadana is the face. So Sharadambhoja Vadana means goddess Saraswati, whose face is like a lotus in the autumn season. Very beautiful lotus in the autumn season. Vadanambuje, in the lotus-like mouth, in my lotus-like mouth, in our lotus-like mouth. Sarvada, here Sarvam Dadati iti Sarvadaha. The Stri Pratyaya Rupa of that is Sarvada, which is one who bestows everything. Everything means everything good. One who bestows everything good is Sarvada. Sarvada. Next, Sarvada here means always. There are 2 Sarvadas you can see, and there are 2 Sannidhims here. So the first Sarvada is one who bestows everything, and the second Sarvada is always, at all points of time. Sannidhim, the first one means Sat Nidhim, a real, a true, a great treasure. Nidhi is a treasure. Sannidhi is a presence. Kriyat, may do. We look at the overall meaning of this particular shloka. May the goddess Saraswati, goddess Sharada, goddess of learning, whose face resembles a beautiful, fully bloomed lotus in the autumn season, Sharadambhoja Vadana, one who bestows all good, everything good, always be present in our lotus-like mouth and always provide us with the great, real treasure of speech by means of whatever words we utter. So this is a prayer to Goddess Saraswati to always reside in our speech. Such a goddess Saraswati, whose face resembles a fully bloomed beautiful lotus in the autumn season, who bestows all good to us and who provides us with a great treasure of speech. We go to the second verse, the second shloka in this particular lesson. Apurvah kopi koshoyam vidyate tava bharati vyayato vridhimayati kshayamayati sanchayat. Apurvah kopi koshoyam vidyate tava bharati vyayato vridhimayati kshayamayati sanchayat. The padacheda, padavibhaga is like this. Apurvaha kaha api koshaha ayam vidyate tava bharati vyayataha vridhim ayati kshayam ayati sanchayat. So the anvaya, the prose order is bharati tava ayam koshaha kaha api apurvaha vidyate vyayataha vridhim ayati sanchayatcha kshayam ayati. What is the pratipadartha? Apurvaha means unprecedented, unique, unmatched, unparalleled. Kaha api, which also, koshaha, treasure, ayam, this, vidyate, exists, tava, of yours, bharati, o Saraswati. Vyayataha, upon spending, vriddhim, increase, ayati, it gets, kshayam, decrease, ayati, it gets, sanchayat, upon accumulating. What is the overall meaning of this? O Saraswati, unprecedented, extraordinary indeed is this treasure of yours, which means the treasure of knowledge. Upon spending this treasure increases. Upon accumulating, this treasure decreases. A kind of very crazy thing. It's very, very difficult to understand what this means. Let us see a little more. This treasure of knowledge is strange, unique, extraordinary indeed. No other treasure can match this treasure. Next, Vyayataha Vridhimayati. What is the meaning of this? See, if you take an ordinary object, like a pen, pencil or a book. Suppose I have a pen with me or a pencil with me and I give it to you. Then I lose that object and you gain that object. Whereas here, upon spending knowledge, it increases. How is it even making sense? The answer is like this. If you teach a thought, if you teach an idea, a concept, a thought, a solution, a topic to another person, if two of you discuss your thoughts, your ideas, your concepts, your solutions, then it became double. One person had a thought initially and he told it to one more person and then it became double. And similarly, when the teacher taught one concept to his or her students, then the concept became multifold, multiplied by so many number of people in the class. Similarly, in another way, in one more way we can think, if I go on teaching, working on the same concept more and more by sharing it with others all over the world, then my own knowledge increases quite a lot. So, Vyayataha Vridhimayati. It is not like a pen, pencil or a book or some object. It is a concept, an idea which gets multiplied upon telling to so many people. That's what the knowledge gets multiplied, multifold it becomes. Vyayataha Vridhimayati. What about Kshayamayati Sanchayat? Upon accumulating it decreases. Why? Upon accumulating or storing knowledge, it decreases. How? By keeping it a secret, it indeed decreases because one day that person who kept it a secret will be forgetting it. He will forget it or he will depart from this world. So the secret is just that knowledge is just lost. So ultimately that knowledge gets lost. So you should never store knowledge. You should always spread it among all the people whom you know. Therefore, knowledge is indeed to be shared. That's what is mentioned here. That's the strange, extraordinary treasure which Saraswati, Goddess Saraswati has given us indeed. Now, the third one. Nasti vidya samam chakshuho, nasti satya samam tapah, nasti raga samam dukkham, nasti tyaga samam sukham. Nasti vidya samam chakshuho, nasti satya samam tapah, nasti raga samam dukkham, nasti satyaga samam sukham. Padacheda, padavibhaga is Na asti vidya samam chakshuh, na asti satya samam tapah, na asti raga samam dukkham, na asti tyaga samam sukham. The Anvaya prose order is vidya samam chakshuh na asti, satya samam tapah na asti, raga samam dukkham na asti, tyaga samam sukham na asti. So what is the pratipadartha? The meaning of the individual words? Na asti, does not exist. Vidya samam, equal or equivalent to learning, education, knowledge. Chakshuhu, the eye. Na asti, does not exist. Satya samam, equal to truth. Tapaha, austerity or penance. Na asti, does not exist. Raga samam, equal to deep attachment or passion towards worldly objects. Dukkham, sorrow, grief. Na asti, does not exist. Tyaga samam, equal to sacrifice or renunciation. Sukham, happiness. So the meaning is, there is no I which is equivalent to knowledge or learning, which means knowledge or learning is indeed the real I through which we have to see. There is no austerity which is equivalent to truth. There is no grief which is equivalent to deep attachment to worldly objects. There is no happiness which is equivalent to sacrifice or renunciation. A little more explanation here. Always go after knowledge. This is the real I. Always pick the truth. This is the real austerity. Never be attached to worldly objects because these cause sorrow. They have something called Raga Dvesha. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Raga Dvesha Vyuktaistu Vishayan Indriyais Charan. And he tells about Raga Dvesha at several places in the Gita. Raga is deep attachment to worldly things, and Dvesha is deep hatred towards worldly things. Swami Chinmayananda used to say of Raga is deep driving desire to acquire something. So it actually causes sorrow in the long run. That's what is the meaning here. Always have a spirit of sacrifice, renunciation. This alone gives true happiness. The fourth one. Na tatha shitala salilam na chandana raso na shitala chaya prahladeti cha purusham yatha madhura bhashini vani. Na tatha shitala salilam na chandana raso na shitala chaya prahladeti cha purusham yatha madhura bhashini vani. Padacheda is like this. Na tatha shitala salilam na chandana rasaha na shitala chaya prahladayati cha purusham yatha madhura bhashini vani. Anvaya, the prose order is yatha madhura bhashini vani purusham prahladayati tatha shitala salilam na chandana rasaha na shitala chaya cha na prahladayati. What is the pratipadartha? We'll see. Na tatha, not as. Shitala salilam, cool water. Na, not. Chandana rasa, sandal paste. Na, not. Shitala chaya, cool shade. Prahladayati, gives great delight. Prakarshena ahladayati, gives great delight, joy or happiness. Purusham, to a person, to a man. Yatha, madhura bhashini vani. Madhura bhashini is sweetly and gently said, told, spoken. Vani is speech and words. So the overall meaning is drinking or quenching thirst with cool water, shitala salilam, or anointing sandal paste, fragrant sandal paste on the body, or resting in a cool shade, shitala chaya, cannot cause as much delight, as much joy, as much happiness in a person as sweetly and gently spoken words. Is the meaning of this particular shloka. Note, speak pleasantly, gently, sweetly to everyone. Sweet words cause much more delight than anything else in this world. Even cool water, fragrant sandal paste or cool shade on a hot sunny day cannot cause as much delight in a person as listening to pleasant, sweet words. Beautiful. The fifth one. Shushrusha Shravanam Chaiva Grahanam Dharanam Tatha Uhapohartha Vijnanam Tattva Jnanam Cha Dhi Gunaha. Shushrusha Shravanam Chaiva Grahanam Dharanam Tatha Uhapohartha Vijnanam Tattva Jnanam Cha Dhi Gunaha. Padacheda is like this. Shushrusha Shravanam Cha Eva Grahanam Dharanam Tatha Uha Apoha Artha Vijnanam Tattva Jnanam Cha Dhi Gunaha. Anvaya is, prose order is Shushrusha Shravanam Cha Eva Grahanam Tatha Dharanam Uha Apoha Artha Vijnanam Tattva Jnanam Cha Dhi Gunaha Santi. What's the meaning of this? Pratipadartha, we'll see. Shushrusha is Shrotam Ichha, desire or willingness to listen. Shravanam, listening with rapt attention, listening with full attention. Grahanam, grasping or the ability to understand, having the ability to understand. Dharanam is retention, retaining whatever is heard, whatever is understood in the mind. Cha eva, and also uhaha, reasoning with positive arguments or logical reasoning. Tatha, such. Apoha, reasoning with the objective of clarifying doubts, asking questions in order to clarify doubts, counter arguments, proposing counter arguments for whatever is told. Artha Vijnanam, proper knowledge of the word meanings, right understanding. Tattva Jnanam, knowledge of the reality, understanding as it exists. Dhi Gunaha, these are the qualities of the intellect. Dhi is intellect or buddhi. What is the meaning here? The 8 qualities of a good intellect are these. Desire to listen with interest, no disinterest in listening. Listening with rapt attention, not getting distracted by mobile phone, video, etc. WhatsApp, movie, no. This listening with rapt attention, keeping all digital devices far away. Proper grasping of what is told means understanding of what is told, retention of what is told. If it's understood and if it's forgotten, it's of no use. It has to be retained in the mind. That's what is meant by dharanam. Logical reasoning with positive arguments, inference. Logical reasoning with questions, that is apoha. Uha is nothing but logical reasoning with positive arguments. Apoha is logical reasoning with questions, counter arguments for clarification of doubts. Then Artha Vijnanam is proper knowledge of the word meanings. Then Tattva Jnanam is knowledge of the reality of the situation. A little more things. Remember these points in listening. Willingness and attentiveness, proper understanding and retention, reasoning with proper arguments, clarifying all doubts, not getting carried away by fake news, fake information, bluff, all lies. You should not be carried away by lies. You should ask the right questions to the right people at the right time in order to clarify all doubts and make sure that they are telling the truth. Nowadays we have a lot of fake videos, fake news, fake information and so on. We should not get carried away by that. That's what is meant by apoha. You see, whatever we call as fake news today has been told thousands of years ago by the Subhashitakara who told about uha and apoha here. Next, Artha Vijnanam is knowing the proper meanings of the words, especially when there are multiple meanings of the same word. You have to take the right, appropriate meaning according to context. That's what is Artha Vijnanam. And Tattva Jnanam is listening with the intention of knowing reality. Not a don't care type of listening, but ultimate reality you should know the situation. You should understand as it exists. This is the meaning of this particular shloka. The sixth one. Madhuryam akshara vyaktihi padachhedastu suswaraha dhairyam laya samarthancha shadete pathaka gunaha. Madhuryam akshara vyaktihi padachhedastu suswaraha dhairyam laya samarthancha shadete pathaka gunaha. Padachheda, padavibhaga is Madhuryam aksharavyaktihi padachchedah tu suswarah dhairyam laya samartham cha shat ete pathakaha gunaha. Anvaya or prose order is Madhuryam aksharavyaktihi padachchedah tu suswarah dhairyam laya samartham cha ete shat pathakaha gunaha santi. The meaning is, the Pratipadartha, individual words are, Madhuryam is sweetness. Aksharavyaktihi is clear, distinct pronunciation of syllables, clarity of speech. Padachchedah tu, and proper splitting of the words. Padachcheda, we already know. We use Padachcheda here. Padavibhaga. Next, Suswaraha, with the right tone, with the right intonation, and not monotonous. Nowadays, you see so many text-to-speech programs where some automated voice gives a message in a very monotonous tone without raising the voice or without lowering the voice and things like that. So that is not the way we have to speak. We have to speak the right tone with the right intonation. We have to raise the voice and lower the voice appropriately. Dhairyam, with confidence, not shaky, not a nervous kind of voice. Laya samarthancha, with proper tempo, with proper pace, means the right speed in which the voice, the message is spoken. Pace of delivery, with pauses in between as necessary. These six, yete shat, these six, pathaka gunaha, these are the qualities of a good speaker. What is the overall meaning? The six qualities of a good speaker are sweetness in speech, which means no harshness, no rudeness, clear pronunciation of syllables, no garbled speech, no swallowing of words, etc. Proper splitting of words with the right intonation, tone, proper raising and lowering of voice, confidently spoken, no nervousness in speech, with proper pace, tempo, pause, break, etc. So this is something we have to remember. All of you, when you grow up, you will have to face interviews, viva voce, debates, and some of you may do public speaking. You will have to do presentations in front of national and international audiences in international seminars and all these places, meetings. You will have to attend meetings in your offices or maybe on a daily basis. You have to remember all these things, the way you have to speak. These 6 points you should remember always while you attend any of these things or any public speech which you do or any speech to any friend, colleague and so on, your classmate and so on. Spoken communication should be very clear, understandable by the listener. Practice these points very well. This is a very, very important shloka for you, for those of you who want to have speaking, careers in speaking, teaching, etc. Next one, 7th one. Acharyat padamadatte padam shishyasvamedhaya kalena padamadatte padam sabrahmacharibhihi. Acharyat padamadatte padam shishyasvamedhaya kalena padamadatte padam sabrahmacharibhihi. Padachcheda is Acharyat padam adatte padam shishyah swamedhaya kalena padam adatte padam sabrahmachari bhihi. Sabrahmachari bhihi. Anvaya, the prose order is Shishyah Acharyat padam adatte. Shishyah swamedhaya padam adatte. Shishyah kalena padam adatte. Shishyah sabrahmachari bhihi padam adatte. What is the overall meaning? What is the Padachcheda, Pratipadartha? Acharya, from the teacher, Padam, 1/4, Adatte, acquires or receives, Padam, 1/4, Shishya, a student, Swamedhaya, by his own intellect, thinking, self-discovery. Kalena, over a period of time, Padam, 1/4, Adatte, acquires or receives, Padam, 1/4, Sa Brahmachari bhi, along with his fellow students, classmates, by discussion. What is the overall meaning here? A student acquires 1/4 of his learning or his total knowledge from his teacher in the classroom. The student acquires another one-fourth by his own intellect, his own thinking, discovering by his own self, his or her own self. This is called sometimes as an intuitional flash. See, my professor, one of my professors at the Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore used to say that if you are stuck with a particular problem, you should not look at Google, you should not look at anybody else. You should just close your eyes and think on the problem for 2 minutes, for 5 minutes. When you close your eyes, one more eye opens up. That is the mind's eye really opens up. If all the inputs to the sense organs, the eyes, the ears are closed, then the mind's eye opens up to thinking, and you will be able to arrive at the solution by your own intuitional flash. That is swamedhaya, my own mind, my own buddhi, my own intellect, my own dhi. That gives me the solution. That is what you should attempt. The very first is what they used to say. So you should not look at other solutions from the external world. You should think about it with the closed eyes and you'll get the solution. That's what is swamedhaya. Next, the student acquires yet another one-fourth over the passage of time by own experience, by working on it over a period of time. The student acquires yet another, the last one-fourth, by discussing with his or her classmates, fellow students, by combined study. So, if we put it pictorially, from teachers we get one-fourth of our knowledge. By our own thinking we get one-fourth of our knowledge. Over a passage of time we get one-fourth of knowledge. It takes 10 years, 15 years for a person to become an expert in a particular field. It's not instantaneous. That's what you must realize. And next, the last one-fourth is by discussion with the classmates, discussion with the other students, by the colleagues in work and so on. There's one shloka in Kannada from the Someshwara Shataka, which is like this: Kelavam ballavarinda kaltu kelavam shastrangalam kedutam kelavam maalpavarinda kandu kelavam sujnanadim nodutam. So what I told you about swamedhaya or intuitional flash by self-discovery, that is sujnanadim nodutam. A beautiful poem by Someshwara in the Someshwara Shataka, the very first one. I'll give you an example of an intuitional flash, a small example in your own mathematics in trigonometry. I'll tell you. You know these three trigonometric identities: cos squared a plus sin squared a equal to 1 and 1 plus tan squared a and so on. Suppose you are sitting in a test and you forget these two, the second and the third you forget, let us say. Then they are giving you a question in these two particular things, let us say, and you remember only one thing: sin squared plus cos squared equal to 1. Now what do? As I told, intuitional flash. Close your eyes and think. If you divide the first equation by sin squared a by sin squared a will be 1, and cos squared a by sin squared a will be cot squared a, and 1 by sin squared a will be cosecant squared a. So you already get this equation straight away. Intuitional flash. Close your eyes, and what can I do with this equation when you think? When you divide the same equation by cos squared a, you get the 1 plus tan squared a equals secant squared a. So even if you don't remember these two formulas, if you remember that, oh, I can divide it, and if you close your eyes and think, you can immediately get these two formulas by your own thinking, intuitional flash. I'm giving you a small example, simple one, but there are several examples like this in mathematics, physics, chemistry, wherever, biology, social, everything, language, everything. So this is a very interesting shloka. It actually tells the nature of our learning. The last one, Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva Vaangmayam Tapah uchyate. Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam chayat swadhyayabhyasanam chaiva Vaangmayam Tapah uchyate. Padacheda, Padavibhaga is Anudvegakaram vakyam satyam priyahitam cha yat swadhyaya abhyasanam cha eva Vaangmayam Tapah uchyate. The Anvaya, prose order is yat vakyam anudvegakaram satyam priyahitam cha tatha swadhyaya abhyasanam cha eva Vaangmayam Tapah Uchyate. This is a definition of Vaangmayam Tapas. The Pada Vibhaga is like this. The Pratipada Artha Anudvegakaram, causing no anxiety, no tension, no distress, no agitation to whomever is listening. Vakyam, speech. Satyam, Vakyam is sentence, but we can take it as speech. Satyam is that which is truthful. Priyahitancha, pleasant and beneficial. Priya is pleasant and hitam is beneficial. Yet that which is Swadhyaya Abhyasanam, involves study of the Vedas, self-study and practice. Cha eva, and also Vaangmayam, which is that which is related to speech. Tapaha, austerity, penance, Uchyate is said to be. So, the meaning is that speech which causes no anxiety, no tension, no excitement to the listener, is truthful, is pleasant and beneficial to the listener, that which involves study of the practice of the Vedas, also includes all the associated literature like Smritis, which is the Bhagavad Gita and so on, Sutras, the Brahma Sutras, Itihasas, the Ramayana, Mahabharata, and the 18 Puranas, Bhagavata, Vishnu Purana, and things like that. All these studies. So this is what is called, such a speech is said to be constitute a austerity of speech. Now, where is Shloka taken from? This is taken from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17, Shloka 15. Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yogaha. Now, I'll give you a small task. Chapter 17 of the Bhagavad Gita, this chapter mentions about 5 other types of austerity or tapaha. Find out what they are and write them in the comments below this video. This brings me to the end of this particular video. Thank you very much for watching this video. In the next video, we look at the solutions, the exercise solutions to this particular problem, to this particular chapter, Vaangmayam Tapaha. Like, subscribe, share. YouTube, Amara Bharati Samskrita, Shubham Bhuyat, Mangalamastu, Shri Krishnarpanamastu.